What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I'm out here on the run, getting things done. And I want to talk about this video that's gone viral. It has a woman who's a pro-lifer. She does a street interview with a woman that was pro-choice, and it went very left. Pun intended there. It went very left and ended up in an ugly place with the woman who was being interviewed striking the woman who was conducting the interview. Let me start off here by saying that some of the things that I'm about to say here are likely going to be unpopular opinions. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm trying to be objective in the middle here and not just jump left or right. I'll say this. You guys who want to conduct street interviews, you got to be careful out there. Really, you got to be careful out there. When you want to conduct street interviews, that's fine, but there's a delicate dance to it. One thing that I saw that she did that I believe was a mistake is that the interview became too adversarial. Now, I'm not condoning the woman's behavior. I'm not condoning that the woman struck her. I'm just simply saying that this was an issue in the interview that I believe helped it go to where it was. People are just going to be like, oh, well, she's a leftist, they're intolerant, and there may be some truth to that, but at the same time, if you truly want to conduct an interview and you're not just trying to grandstand for the internet and social media, there's a better way to go about this. She stopped the woman, and I mean, it was going well at first. The woman was smiling. She seemed to be very pleasant. She's like, oh, you've got a channel, yada, yada, yada. Things were pretty good. I didn't expect them to take the direction that they did. Color me surprised when it ended up her putting hands on her. But as I said, I personally, I'm not pro-life or pro-choice. I'm really in the middle. I'm just like, y'all do what works for y'all. I'm not about to stand on no soapbox and try to tell you what to do one way or another. This is your life, your choices. You make decisions and you live with the consequences of them. I'm out of it. But during the interview, as I said, it took an antagonistic direction from the woman doing the interview. It seemed more of her trying to grandstand and simply provide her opinion, her perspective. Because, I mean, she said a lot of stuff that I agreed with. The interviewer, I mean. So, yeah, the interviewer said a lot of stuff that I agreed with. And the woman who was being interviewed said a lot of stuff that I disagreed with. So, this isn't me taking the interviewee's side. This is just me simply saying, if this were me in this interview, I probably would have got agitated too, because it's like, listen, you stopped me to ask me questions. You stopped me because you wanted my views and opinions about this. And your tone and the way you keep interrupting me when I'm trying to talk, yes, is disrespectful, and it can frustrate people. Now, she could have behaved differently, and she should have behaved differently. I'm not saying that I agree with her actions or condone her actions in any way, shape, or form. I'm just pointing out, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So, guys, if y'all are going to be out here street interviewing people, by all means, interview people, but don't become antagonistic. Don't become adversarial, because that's one problem. That's one of the main problems here. I'll say that. So Another issue is that when you're out here, if you're going to take that approach, you need to be mindful of the fact that some people you're going to rub the wrong way, and they very well may turn to violence. Whether they should turn to violence, no, but who cares? It's very much a possibility that they will, and you need to be prepared for that. I felt like the woman, based on what I seen, was slipping a little too tough for somebody that was being so adversarial. There is no reason why both those hits should have landed as clean as they did. She was so off guard. It seemed like she was more into grandstanding for the interview. That's where her focus was. It seemed like to me. Now, I don't know this woman. This is me trying to bash her. Again, this is me outside looking in, telling you what I saw. She seems so just occupied, just so taken with grandstanding for her interview that she was completely off guard, and she didn't expect the woman to attack her. But man, I just grew up in an environment where I wasn't sheltered like that, and I just know to always stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Both them hits, I mean, they landed clean, left, right. I mean, they just you can't be that off guard if you gonna be out here interviewing people, especially about hot button topics. Now, the woman, she goes and she tries to defend her actions, which her actions are not defendable. She goes and tries to defend her actions, saying, oh, well, she's not going to assassinate my character. She was, basically she was saying that the woman brought that behavior out of her. You know, she was out here just trying to get under her skin. She was trying to antagonize her, yada, yada. And that's just what happens. You know, no accountability, basically, which that's just not acceptable. If you are going to behave this way, at least stand on it. Really, if you're gonna behave this way, you got to stand on it. Be like, I did this, it wasn't right, but I don't regret it. Instead of being on some, oh, it's her fault that I attacked her. Because no, you are in control of your faculties. You just like she could have de-escalated it and chose not to, because I believe the interviewer, in my opinion, was the one escalating it and had the power to de-escalate it. She has the power. It's in her hand. She's the one conducting this. But just like she could have de-escalated it, you, the woman who threw the punches, could have de-escalated it as well. You could have at any point been like, hey, listen, why are we fighting? We got a difference of opinion, but we ain't got to sit here fighting about it. You stopped me. You wanted to talk to me. And if you're going to ask me questions, be polite enough to let me answer them. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. I'll hear you out. But don't just talk over me when you're the one that's asking me questions after stopping me for my opinion. You wanted my opinion, right? Let me give it. So you could have did that, or you could have just walked away. Like, I see that this is taking a really ugly turn and I don't want to participate in this. So either way, you had the power to stop things from going the direction that they did as well, and you opted to get violent. You lost. There's no winners here anyway, though. Both women lost. I think both women look ridiculous. I don't view the interviewer as being a victim. It seems like she is trying really hard to paint herself as being one. She shouldn't have been attacked, but she's not innocent in this situation, because in my opinion, she threw kerosene on a fire. She threw gasoline on a fire, jet fuel on fire, whatever inflammatory liquid you want to say she used. She very much did that. She could have chose to de-escalate the situation. Instead, she chose to antagonize the other woman. Could have de-escalated the situation, and instead she chose to, assault the person that she felt like was frustrating or whatever. So, to me, this is just a situation of both people just look stupid. I think that the woman who does the interviewer who did the interview, I think that she could learn from this. I hope this doesn't happen to her again in the future. But I think instead of painting herself out to be a victim and, you know, like trying so hard to capitalize off of this to make ad revenue, she should look at this like, you know, I see in the interview here mistakes that I made, and in the future, if I want to stop and talk to people, especially about hot button topics, that I ask questions, let them answer, and offer my competing view instead of trying to make it like a fight, because that's what it is. It just seemed like two chicks arguing. It started off friendly enough and quickly got ugly because you had two women that want to win, and in my opinion, neither exercised maturity here. They both seemed extremely immature. I'm gonna leave it there though, y'all. You know, as I said, I think my take on this is probably gonna ruffle a few feathers, because I'm not like, oh, this one's right, or oh, that one's right. No, they're both fucking stupid. All right, I'm gonna leave it there though, y'all. I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.